Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee, having my coffee this morning. And it's early out, getting ready to start my day. It's actually unseasonably warm today. It's normally the end of October, it's cold and blustery, and it's actually warm and humid today. Wanted to do a video on a concept when it comes to preparedness, and what that is having multiple sources for everything. And I'm going to give you some examples. Now, there is a sort of an equation that I guess I use. There's supplies, and then there's knowledge how to use those supplies. So you can have all the supplies in the world, but if you don't have the knowledge to effectively use them, they're not going to be as effective. Another thing is you can have all the knowledge in the world, but there's no substitute for certain supplies. So you have to use both of those in unison. Now, when I say you need to have multiple sources for everything, I mean you need to have multiple sources for everything. I'm going to give you a couple examples here. One is just basic food. You know, most people go to the store, get their stuff. Maybe they grow a garden. Well, that's two sources right there. You have two different sources. You have the store, and then you have the stuff that you either grow and put up yourself. But then if you know multiple stores, you know all the mom and pop places, you know all the big box stores around your area. Maybe you have a membership to one of the membership places. Now, the internet is all layered on top of this yet, but I don't count the internet into this, is because the internet can be, fickle. There's lots of things that could, prevent you from getting stuff online. Medical is another one. I have my doctor, I have my local emergency room, I have my medical notes for both me and my family, different ailments that we got. If all of those fail, I've got, my medical reference stuff here. So then I have a certain amount of reference material that if I don't recognize an ailment or an injury, I can go back to that reference material to see how to look after that if there is no doctor or there is no hospital. And I also have over-the-counter, prescription medication that we use here. I have some of that put up too. So I have multiple sources of both knowledge, know-how, and then the supplies to utilize that stuff. I'm going to use propane too as an example. Propane is a pretty common prepper fuel. I know probably 4 places off the top of my head that I can get my tanks filled. I also have a couple of places that I know where I can get fittings and fixtures if I need to fix or repair something that I got here, or if I need to build something. And I also know people that know how to put those fittings and fixtures together. If I don't know how to do it, I have people that I can call up or talk to and say, hey, how do I go about doing this, whatever. So that's another layer yet on top of that, because knowledge, that's sort of a supply too. And knowing how to do things can get you through a lot of problems too, if you know how to go about doing that. And this, I've been on the prepping community for a long time online, reading different accounts of stuff like what took place in Argentina and the Balkans and the collapse of the Soviet Union. And there was one story that sticks in my mind that happened during the collapse of the Soviet Union. And these people that wrote this, they were like in their late teens, early 20s when this all took place. And this was a first-hand account, and they said they didn't have nothing to eat for a couple of days, but they were pretty handy with mechanical stuff. And they had a guy come to them whose car didn't work, and he wanted them to fix their car. And he said, what do I got to pay you? Of course, money was kind of out the window at that point in time in the Soviet Union. He says, will you guys do it? And they said, yeah. And he said, what do you want? And they said, we haven't eaten anything in a couple of days. He says, okay, I can take care of that. And he said, go ahead and work on the car. So they worked on the car and they fixed it. A couple hours went by. This guy came back. He had a pound of bacon that he had cooked, and he had a frying pan full of fried potatoes, and he had a pint of vodka. And that's what he paid these guys with. And they wrote in that particular blog that that was the best meal that they ever had in their life, because they were literally starving. And, they traded what they knew on how to fix that basically for food to keep them going. And knowing people that can do things, but then knowing multiple people that can do things is even better. And they don't necessarily have to be like you, like the Amish. I know, the different Amish communities and stuff around here. I know, what services they have, what they can do, what stuff that they have as far as supplies that I can get from them. I've been to them before, so they sort of know me. I always try to play the diplomat. You go in, you introduce yourself, they know you. And more likely than not, if they know you prior to SHTF, they're going to possibly help you out after SHTF if you need that help, and vice versa. Now, I'm going to give the local farmers as an example. I make it a point to talk to the local farmers when they're harvesting stuff, and just like that potato farm short that I did here just recently. If I can't get potatoes at the store, and I can't grow my own potatoes, I already know people at a potato farm where I can go ahead and I can get some potatoes to can or do whatever. See, there's multiple sources for that. I got my own stuff here. There's local stores and markets that I can go to, but then I also know I can go directly to the people that grow them. And, you always go in, you introduce yourself. You make sure that they know you. Strike up conversations, be that ever popular diplomat. And that's helped out a lot over the years. I can just go do multiple different examples of this. Ammunition is another one. I know multiple places around here where I can get ammunition. I also know people that reload ammunition. I have my own ammunition here that I've put up. If all of that fails, I can reload shotgun shells with black powder and BBs for kids' BB guns if I have to. So again, I have multiple sources for everything. And now there's certain things that I wish I had more sources for. So I'm not perfect in any stretch of the imagination. One is dental. I'm on a first name basis with my dentist. My dentist is local. I know them and all the people that work in their office. But that's the only dentist that I really have. Any other dentist is going to be quite a ways away from where I'm at here. Now, I have certain amount of, dental first aid stuff here to, patch up stuff, but that's only 2. And I would rather have 3 or 4 ways to handle a potential problem than just 2. So that's something that I'm actually working on and trying to find another source to get dental things taken care of, because, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So if you look at that theory, what I got for dental, I basically have one thing, because I only have 2 sources to get something done. So that's sort of the mindset in how you look at this stuff. And people don't have to always be like in your group or in your close circle when it comes to sourcing stuff out. Sometimes just an acquaintance, just because you're an acquaintance, that might put you a little bit further up in the line if something goes wrong. And I don't see really any downside to it. If you're an acquaintance with a bunch of different people, and you're not going to always, hit with every single thing. You might have 5 acquaintances for this one particular thing, but you maybe only have 1 that comes through. And, I'll use mechanics as an example. I know multiple people that are mechanics, but they might be busier, might be something going on. And especially after SHTF, this might be different again. I have maybe 5 different mechanics that I know, but I might be able to only get 1 that's going to be able to help me out. And that's why more acquaintances like that, and more people and more sources for everything is always going to be better than less, because there's a certain amount of them that aren't going to come through for you, but then there's always going to be maybe 1 or 2 that will. I had a wise person tell me once, when the chips are down, there's typically always 1 person that comes along that helps you out. So that's just a little bit of advice that I got from the old timers. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. I hope you guys got a little information information and a little entertainment, something to think about out of this video as always, and you guys have a good one.